Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
In this video, I'll share with you a very powerful incident that happened. Very, very powerful, which literally changed the way I dealt with people, I worked, I interacted with people, everything. It just changed the way how my thinking was, especially in relation to work, money, and career. And I'll tell you, if you watch this video, it'll change your thinking as well. Okay. My name is Loy Machedo. For those of you who are new, I am a personal branding strategist. I help people get jobs in the Middle East, especially UAE, Dubai. And people contact me for personal, professional, or business related coaching. Details are put down in the comment section. All right. I'll give you first a story that it's a true story that actually happened, which just kind of shocked me. And this is my stepfather, Frederick Pinto. He was working for this company, Emitac, Emitac, in the 80s. I don't know if Emitac is still there. I think it's there, but it's not as big as it used to be. It was owned by Bukatir, who was a multi-billionaire those days. He was the one who used to, this Arab Emirati guy, he was the one who bought cricket those days, in the 80s. And that time there was gambling, there was a lot of bribing, and Pakistan and India used to play, they used to wear all white. It was not that T20 kind of thing, long matches. And a lot of gambling and all. And it was based in Sharjah. For the old timers who would know this, it was not in Dubai, it was in Sharjah. So yeah, my stepfather was working for Bukatir. And later on, he was getting paid very good salaries. I think they were taking the British kind of standard. So even though he was a receptionist, even though he was a data entry clerk, there was a telex, there was a, uh, I don't know, what do you call that? Telex or fax machine or whatever. There was that, it was like a phone, PBAX or something like that machine. So yeah, so old timer stuff, he used to do that. Okay. But they were getting paid salaries, which today you would say that you would only pay maybe a manager. I'm talking of equivalent. That is, you're talking of 70s, late 70s and 80s. He was working, it was under British management. Later on, when everyone in India came to know that, oh, in the Gulf, you can make big money, especially in the Malayalis, the Keralites. And all the Keralites were working in, they call it the Gulf, which was the Middle East. They were coming back and building big houses. And, most of the Indians, their dream is to have a two-story house and a big property and nice veranda. And that's it. That's the goal. And if they have achieved it, finish. Glory, it's status. So they would have a big house, they would have a big car, and they would show everyone. So everyone, it started becoming the gold rush. So all the Indians ran off to the Middle East who hoped to become rich, because they didn't care what was your qualification standards, this, that. Anyone who joined as at the lowest level, by default, would grow up to be a manager. Sadly, my stepfather was not one of those ambitious kind of guys. He was just a typical Mangalorean stepfather. So he was in his comfort zone, getting that. Those days, I think it was 8,000 dirhams. So if 8,000 dirhams with inflation, I'm just roughly saying maybe it'll be 15 or 20,000. Okay, in today's standards. So he was very happy. He was in his comfort zone. Even my mother was comfort zone. Later on, from Emitac, then during Gulf War, he left, went to India. They thought nuclear, Saddam Hussein and all that, there was a nuclear bomb, and US invaded Iraq, Kuwait was burning. So he left, we thought we would leave UAE forever. But after 8 months, they came back. And because of his old relationship and contacts, he didn't get the job in Emitac. He got the job with another branch of Emitac, Ugathar Investments. They were doing airline ticketing. Those days, there was no centralized system that they have like Mercator, like Emirates Airlines has Mercator. Now it's no longer Mercator. Now it's maybe something else. So airlines didn't have a central system. So he was there, supervisor for the data entry operator. Airlines would give their tickets and they would data enter in whatever systems. Okay, it was done manually. His salary was more or less, I think, the same. So he was okay, happy. One fine day, and mind you, his ego was up there. He thought he was God. My entire family, uh, my mother had sisters, they all looked at him as God. Because, why? Because he was earning a big salary. And he used to walk with his hands like back, you know how the doctors walk, no? Like they'll clasp their hands like this at the back and walk. He used to walk like as if he's a principal or headmaster, and people used to, oh, he's walking, oh, keep quiet, don't talk. And they used to give him that legendary respect. Yeah, because he was earning more money and he had a lot of money, and he thought no end of himself. However, one fine day, and by the time the British management moved, Pakistani management came over. And you know, when you have a management change, everything changes. From if the top management changes, everything else changes. So before that, British management's obviously kind of British kind of style of management. But once they got Pakistanis and they bought in Indian, the minute you been Indian, everything becomes Indian only. So they were cutting down the cost, they were cutting down this thing, you have to work more, cheaper salaries, and they just want to figure out how to squeeze everyone. So my stepfather was a long time employee. He was like, he got a 15-year A4 size paper that said Certificate of Excellence. It was just a bloody printout which he put it on a frame. 15 years he got one, 20 years he got one. I think 25 years also he got one. So he used to proudly show that. It was just a bloody A4 size paper, and then he'd get a cross pen or something he would proudly show. Or 500 dirhams as a tip or some shit like that. Funny when you think about it now. Because they didn't want to increase his salary, but they wanted to thank him for the loyalty. That's why when anyone tells me they got a certificate of appreciation or they show the certificate like this, it means nothing, man. It's just paper, you can tear it. So he got this and he was very proud. He used to display it at home until one day he came home and I never saw him like that. He looked like a truck had hit him. He looked like shocked. He looked like, and looking at his face, I knew something was not right. I was a young man, and he was always very strict with me. And my mother also came, and she was trying to, talk to him. I don't know what time of the day, but I suppose it was the evening or something, afternoon. And then later on, I found out. I don't know how I found out. I think it was a mother. He would never talk to me. Or I think it was him talking to my uncle over, they drink little alcohol, little bit of, they call it peg. They put a little bit of alcohol, ice on top of ice and water. So I'm not sure how I actually know this, but he said that the GM called him in the office and he gave him his papers. He said, this is your termination papers and your gratuity and everything else, be totaled and given to you. And my stepfather got a shock of his life, absolute shock. And he couldn't believe it. He was shivering and all that. And he started to literally burst out in tears. And he said, but I worked for you. I give you my life. I worked day and night. I gave 25 years and this and that and all that. And the next sentence is a thing I remember forever. The Pakistani guy who was educated in UK was a maybe classy guy. He said, Pinto, he called my father Pinto, Frederick Pinto, but they just call him Pinto. Pinto, I never asked you to work late hours. Because my father was saying stepfather was saying that he worked 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours. I never asked you to work more than 8 hours. Number one. I'm just paraphrasing him. May not have said in this style. One is, I never asked you to work extra hours. Number two is, I never asked you to work during days off. I never asked you to work extra from home. That clearly shows you're not effective at what you do. I never asked you. Did I ever ask you? No. You worked with your own free will. And I never asked you stay at this company for 20 years, 25 years. I never asked you. You stayed. And you're not done me any favor. I paid you money every single month. So you worked, I paid you money. That's it. Then the next month starts. So every month is a new month. Every week is a new week. Every day is a new day. So today is a new day. And I don't need your services anymore. I can get 3 people at your salary who are much more younger than you, much more effective than you, much more educated than you, smarter than you. So I don't owe you anything. And my stepfather then said, what about that certificate you gave me? And I was saying, that's to encourage you. That's to thank you. That's to make you feel good. My stepfather got I don't know, he was shocked. I was a young boy that time. I think I was 14, 15, whatever. I don't know. But he was like, my mother, kind of coaxed him and told him, you'll get a job, you'll get this and that. And he never did resume rebranding. so, so he thought he would get a job. He thought he was high and mighty. After all, 25 years. But I'll tell you, after that day, he tried for the next very many years. Nothing. The only thing he got was rejection. By the way, he didn't know how to put a tie properly. He didn't know how to dress properly. He didn't know. Now when I look at it, his dress sense was completely messed. The trousers were above their belly button. His shoes were scrap. His CV, I don't remember looking at his CV, but I found out his mark sheet, he only got pass marks. And then I used to wonder, like, bloody hell, you tell me to get first rank and you're only pass marks. And I think he didn't even complete his degree. But however, this incident, the most powerful bit was what this manager, GM, told my stepfather. And later on, as time passed by, I saw this like unconsciously being followed by business people, by smart individuals, even relationships. Some guys would say, like guys, when they wanted to break up with a girl, I never asked you to be with me all these years. Like girls would cry and say, I give you my life, I give you my virginity, I give you. Who the fuck asked you to do that? They would say that. Seriously. And that I think kind of shaped my thinking. And I realized nobody owes me anything. And I don't owe anyone anything. And that's the same philosophy and policy I've taught my wife. I've told my wife, every day is a new day. Every day. So, whatever sacrifices you did yesterday, I've taken care of you. Today is a new day. Today you have to prove yourself again. Today you have to work again. There is work to be done. Me also same, huh? Me also same. I paid for whatever. It's gone, done. If I bought her a $10,000 gold, done, finished, over. New day. I can't go back and say, oh, I bought you this. In the same way, she can't turn around and say, oh, I give you my so many years of my life, my this and no, every day is a new day. I'm not asking you to stay. You can leave whenever you want. As long as you feel happy, you be in the relationship. As long as I feel you are taking care of me, you will be in the relationship. The day I fail my duties, it's time for you to move on. And I've told my wife very clearly, the day I become a liability for you, like sitting on a wheelchair like this, I told her, just allow me to commit euthanasia or just let me die. No way, no way. I don't want to be a liability, man. I'm telling you, this is me. This is me. She said, no, I'll take care of you like we take a grandma. I don't want. And my wife told me, like some people ask me online, Loy, if tomorrow your wife doesn't meet your standards, then bye-bye. My baby has to achieve certain standards. Wife has to achieve certain standards. I have to achieve certain standards. And every day, me, my wife, and my kid, we have to prove ourselves to one another. You can't get your very high marks in class 4th and class 5th and say, nah, I got before, now no need. Class 6th, I got it in class 1. No, it doesn't work out that way. I can't say because I took care of the family 5 years, now I'll sit back and ignore them. I was loyal to you for 5 years, now I'll cheat around. No, it doesn't work that way, man. Every month, electricity, water bill, expenses, every day, food, every day is a new day. So every day my wife has to prove herself. Every day I have to prove myself. Every day my kid has to prove. Because every day I'm giving you food, water, clothing, shelter. Prove your obedience. Prove your loyalty. Prove yourself. Because one day a person can turn around and say, bye-bye. Like how my father got the notice. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. And if you cry and say, I gave you so many years of my life, 30 years. Who asked you? I never forced you. I took care of you all the. You didn't do it for free. Now your usefulness is no longer there. Bye-bye. The same thing, one day, even maybe your children will tell you, man. You take care of your children all the years, and one day they'll tell you, Dad, listen, please, my husband doesn't like you. Please, I have to focus on my life, not you. You're the past. Or a son would say, I don't owe you. Who asked you to give birth to me? There are children who say that. Who asked you to give birth to me? You couldn't control yourself. Who asked you to take care of me? I never asked you. It's your problem. Then what you'll say? Remember, every day is a new day. Every day you have to prove yourself. Like every day I have to make a new video. Every day I have to hunt a new client. Every day I have to earn money. Every day I have to save money. Every day I have to be loyal to my wife. Every day I have to provide for them. Nobody owes you anything. And you never know when one fine day you live in that bubble of loyalty and all that. They'll tell you, fuck off. That's why even friends, clients, anybody, you have to prove yourself to me every day. Just because you're loyal to me 10 years doesn't mean that I lift up my guard. Maybe now you'll betray me. Who knows? So you can't let your guard down. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. You and I have to prove ourselves every single day. It can be to the shareholders. It can be the stock market. It can be a singer performance. It can be a love relationship. It can be a business transaction. You can maybe achieve. There are so many people who have been number one in sales month after month after month, and then 3 months in a row they don't achieve. And the company says, bye bye. You're not giving me results. I'm paying you money. It's not for free. They say, I did for so many years. No, I gave you money. You didn't do it for free. I don't owe you anything. Think about what I said. And you tell me if I'm right or wrong. Right? Good, bad, ugly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now you know why I think the way I do. Every day is a new day. Get your ass up and running. Guys, take care.